What's up guys, Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com, back with another SketchUp quick tutorial for you. So today we're going to talk about modeling various kinds of wood base and trim using the Follow Me tool. Before we get started, today's video is brought to you by the SketchUp Essentials course. It's designed to be the equivalent of a 2-day in-person course, and we cover everything from the basic tools of SketchUp to some more advanced applications, moving more into interior design and layout modeling, that sort of thing. So basically the idea is that you could walk in on the first day not knowing anything and walk out on the second day completely proficient. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want some more in-depth SketchUp training, you can check that out at the SketchUpEssentials.com/course. That course is available for pre-order right now. It'll be launching on 3/14, and until 3/14 there will be a 20% off discount for anyone that pre-orders. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to check out that link in the notes down below. Now let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so I just wanted to make a video giving kind of a quick overview of the way that you can model things like base and crown molding in your SketchUp models. And we've talked about this a little bit before, but I just wanted to talk about basically the way that you do it and some resources for getting some different things, and then get into a little bit of advanced application. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about is, generally speaking, the way that you're going to create base is you're just going to create a profile. So whatever that profile might be, let's say that we have a very simple profile with a little arc right here. Whoops. Let's say we have a very simple profile with a little arc at the base, and then something that goes straight up, and then maybe another arc. So something really simple. And so the way that we would take this, we would create a piece of base, is we would just use either the Follow Me tool, or in this case I'm just going to use the Push-Pull tool just to give you an idea. And so what we do is we create this profile on the end, and then we extrude that to give it depth. And so a lot of the time what you would do is, let's say you had a room in here that you wanted to put base around, is you would bring this profile and you would put it right up against your wall. And then you would just select basically the outline of your room. So in this case I did a double click and then I did a shift click to deselect the face, and honestly you don't even need to do that. You can just click on the face, and then you would just use the Follow Me tool to extrude this around the perimeter. So you would select your base or select your path, then you would activate the Follow Me tool, and you would click on this piece of wood base in order to extrude this wood base around the perimeter. And so probably what I'm going to do just for a second is I'm going to hide these walls so you can see what we created. So basically that extruded a piece of base all the way around here. And one thing that's sometimes worth doing when you do this is you may, before you do this, want to have all your walls in a group. So basically I'm just dragging my mouse over these walls, and I'm just going to right click and I'm going to click Make Group. And that way it can be easy later on when you create this to put your wood base in a group. So I'm going to select this again, and I'm just going to run the whole thing again. So this is going to extrude this around the perimeter, but now what I can do is I can hide my walls really easily, and I can just come in here and I can select my base by dragging a mouse around it. And then probably what I would do is I would deselect my actual floor. And what I would do is I would take this base, I would make it a group, and I would put that on a layer. So in this case probably what I would do is I would just call this something like architectural dash base. And then I would put that group on a layer so that I could turn it on and off whenever I want to. And ideally I would have my walls and everything else in a layer too, also on a layer. So that I can turn things on and off and get to it really quickly and really easily. But you can see how that's basically the way that wood base works. Is you just take a profile and you just extrude it along a path in order to create the base. And one thing I want to note when you do this is it's ideal if you can do a whole room at once, because you can see what that does in the corners is that actually turns the corners and makes a smooth transition. So you don't have to come in here and mess around with this geometry in order to create this transition. It just extrudes it all the way around that box, and it'll close it off nicely as well. So you can see how there's no gap in here where our original profile was. So the ideal way to do this is to do this around a whole room at once whenever possible. And so the next question becomes, where do you get the profiles for your different kinds of molding? And so there's a few different things you can do. The first thing you could do is you could go search the images section of Google, and you can find profiles in here that you could bring in, and then you could use the scale tool to size them. And there's a ton of different profiles out there. You could use the tape measure tool to resize the whole thing, to set the scale, and then you could just trace it and use that as your profile. So that's one way you could do this. Another place that you can get profiles is actually in the 3D warehouse. So if you go to File, 3D Warehouse, and click Get Models, you can actually do a search for things like wood molding profiles, and a bunch of these will actually pop up. So there's a bunch of these in here. There's this timber and trim. There's wood molding by Stackus. There's a ton of different things in here where you can download your different profiles. If you don't want to create your own, you can just come in here and download one of these. And so I'm going to go ahead and download this Timbrun TIM49 straight into my model. And so when I bring that into my model, all I have to do is click to place it. And so you can see how now I can just bring this in and I can just put that around the perimeter of my room. So let's say I was to turn my walls back on. I could create a copy of this and bring this in on this wall. And the one thing that gets a little bit tricky is if you have your walls in a group, you can't select this perimeter anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode this so that there's raw geometry in here that I can just use to extrude this. And actually, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a group so that it's already in a group. And then I'm going to go inside the group. I'm just going to draw a rectangle around this so that I have the path inside the group itself. So now you can see what I did is I created basically the ceiling face to use as a path. And then I can come over here and just use the Follow Me tool to extrude this around the perimeter. And you can see that I'm getting this warning about an unexpected end, but that would have happened right here and everything looks okay, so I'm not really super worried about it. And then once you create that, you can just kind of delete out this ceiling path that you've created, and what you're left with is you're left with your crown molding inside your building. And then you could turn your walls back on. And if you were to go take your camera and stand inside this room, now you have this crown molding going around your perimeter. And you could also double click inside this group, select all of your faces by tapping Control A, and then clicking Reverse Faces. So hopefully all of this is making sense. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. But that's generally how you would bring this base in here. So, and then the last thing I wanted to do here is I wanted to talk a little bit about creating a couple different kinds of more custom base. So for example, in this case, what I would do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explode this, because when you bring things in from the 3D warehouse, for some reason they come basically a group inside of a group. So now I have this in here as just a component in my model. And so what I'm going to do is, let's say for example, I'm actually going to make a copy of this so I have a copy of it for later, and I'm going to just right click on that and click Make Unique. That way any changes I make here don't get reflected over here because these are components. But in this case, let's say for example that we wanted to create a more specialized molding. In this case I think it's called a dentil molding. It's basically a molding with a series of blocks in it. And so what we would do in this case is we would push-pull our molding. So let's say I push-pulled it in this direction, and then we would model out our blocks on our front face. And so I would try to draw this as a square on this face. And you know what, I might actually go outside of this group to do this so that my geometry is not merging in here. But basically, I would create a box that comes off of this, and it might actually go up inside this crown molding piece. And so I'd probably need to make it a little wider just to make this look okay. And then I would select that box. I would use the Move tool in copy mode to move it over, and then I would adjust this other box however I wanted it to be. So in this case, if I wanted this to be a little a little shorter or something like that. I could push pull this face up. And so you can see how I basically have a pair of blocks that are inside this piece of geometry. And that's okay because we're just trying to display this so that it looks okay. We're not really trying to create like a solid or anything like that. So what you can do is you can select this whole thing, right click on it and make it a component, and we'll just call it block. And then we'll use the move tool in copy mode to create a whole bunch of copies of it along the green axis. So you can see what I did is I activated the move tool, clicked on this corner, moved my mouse over here, and then tapped the control key to activate copy mode, and I set my first point. And remember, this tool is still active, so what I can do is I can type in times 10 or times 30 or times 50. And you can see how I can make as many copies of this as I want along basically this face. And so one thing I don't like about the way this looks right now is I would really like for this face to be narrower than this face. So whenever this gets smaller, I want this to also be narrower. Well, the reason that we modeled all these in components is so that we could come in and we could make changes to this. So in this case, what I would do is I would just draw a line up. And so for whatever reason, this isn't quite picking this up the way I'd like it to. So I'm going to hide this other piece of crown molding. I'm just going to draw a box across this right here so that this is an individual face. And then I'm just going to push pull this back a little bit. And you can see how when I push pull this back, because every one of these is made up of a component, when we adjust one, all of the others adjust as well. And so the nice thing about setting things up this way is if you make a mistake, like when I modeled this where these were all the same size and it didn't look very good, then you can come in and you can make that adjustment really quickly. So now if you kind of zoom out and you just kind of rotate along this piece of crown molding, you can see how now we have these blocks in here to make up this this style of crown molding. And then the last thing I would probably do is I would probably put them all in a group. So originally I had these kind of separate so I wouldn't have any geometry merging, but now it's kind of all in a group. And so basically what you would do is you would just kind of recreate this around your corners as well. There's not really a whole lot of rocket science to doing it this way. Theoretically, you could probably set up an extension like Profile Builder to do this as well. So, and then the other thing you could possibly do, and we'll see if this works, sometimes pieces of molding have like decorative faces on them. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can bend a decoration along this face using Flowify. And so the first thing I'm going to do, because this is going to be really important, is I need to go into this base piece and I need to make sure that this line is a single continuous line. Because what's going to happen if it isn't is you can see how basically wherever these segments broke, this is breaking this up into a separate face. And that's not going to work if we're going to try to bend something along this whole face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to select these curved edges by just doing a shift click. And I have an extension called Weld. And what Weld does is that takes multiple edges and it welds them into a single edge. So now, if I was to push pull this and then select it, you can see how this is all in here as a uninterrupted face. And this is going to be important because what we're going to do is we're going to use the extension Flowify to try to bend a design along this face. I'll link to a video about Flowify up above in the corner here, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to go inside this group, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to double click on this face and we're going to right click and we're going to make it a group. And so when we make it a group, basically what we need to do is we need to make sure we get all of the edges in here as well as this face. And then I'm just going to draw a couple lines kind of going straight out. And so when I draw these lines going straight out, what we're going to do is we're making our surface that we're going to model our design along. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to put these two in a group now. So now I should have a group for this face, and I should have a group for these two target lines. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle right here. And I'm going to reverse the faces so that the light side is facing out. And I'm going to put that in a group as well. So now what I have is I have one group of a target face, One group is a base face and one group of my target lines. And we're going to put all three of those in a group, because if you remember, that's how the extension Flowify works. And so now we're going to select this group. We're just going to do extensions, Flowify, impose grid. And if we set this up right, what this is going to do is this is going to impose a grid on this face. So that means that this is basically map this face to this edge. And so now we're just going to draw a very simple, first of all, I'm going to draw a face that I can work with here, and we're going to hide this. All right, so what we're going to do is on this face, we're going to create a very simple design. So in this case, just for the sake of the demonstration, we're going to keep this very simple. We're just going to create a series of lines that have a little bit of thickness. So I'm going to create this right here, and then I'm going to use the move tool in copy mode to create a bunch of different copies of this. So let's say I want this every 2 inches, and then I'm going to type in times 15, we'll say times 20, and hit the enter key. So you can see how all I did is I came in here and I just modeled a very simple profile that we're going to bend along this this molding piece. And so we'll triple click on this and we'll put all of those in a group. And then I'm going to unhide my Flowify group. So then all we're going to do is we're going to select our Flowify group. We're going to select our edges, and we're just going to go to extensions, Flowify, Flowify. And what that's going to do is that's going to bend all of our pieces along this face. And so now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hide my target lines, and I'm going to hide this face, and we're just going to take a look at our crown molding piece. So you can see what this did is this basically took those edges and it bent them along this piece of molding. And then probably what we could do is we could come down to the soften edges section and click and drag the little slider in order to soften out all those extra edges that were created. So you can see how once you kind of get this figured out, you can create some pretty cool designs and other things on your wood base and your wood molding. So that's where I'm going to end this video. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about, leave a comment down below. I just love having that SketchUp conversation with you guys. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new SketchUp content every week. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little bit helps, even if it's only $1 a month. So make sure to check out that link in the notes down below. But in any case, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.